Hello, welcome to this new episode of Let's Talk Data, presented to you by DQE. In the previous part of our episode, we talked about data governance with one of the foremost experts in the domain, who is Charlotte Ledoux. Charlotte Ledoux is still with us today. I'll give you a little bit of background about Charlotte. She's got extensive experience in the consulting world, especially around data and AI. And in this episode, we will go a step beyond data governance and talk about a new concept that is proving more and more relevant for companies around the world, which is AI governance. As a starting point, Charlotte, how are you first? How are you doing?
Good, doing great, and happy to be here for the second part.
This second part, and maybe we're going to try and connect this episode with the previous one. And could you explain to us maybe the links between data governance and AI governance? Is data governance not enough?
Yes, good point, because we thought that with data governance we were all set up, all good. So I think what I say is, data governance, you govern the inputs. The data that is used is more the input, but you also need to govern the outcome, the output. And what I say that is you need to govern also the outcome of algorithms that are used within your company. So that's why you need not only to think about data governance, but also then next step is AI governance.
If we take a little bit of history, when did this concept of AI governance emerge?
It's been here since a few years, but more recently it gained traction, With all these algorithms, we had the years, the data science, machine learning years. We realized that sometimes some algorithms are acting as black box. You don't really know why they share this result. So you need to also think about, okay, what's the explainability of the algorithm, and also all the ethical question that came out. And I think that's how it started at first, that we started to have all these conversations within the scope of AI governance.
And when did you start being interested in this started focusing on this topic?
It was more, like I said, a few years ago, it started with these, and just a few months, I think, after that, the AI Act was mentioned. I mean, at least it started, the conversations around it started, and it's going to be this year that we have the final entry of this regulation in Europe. So that's how I started focusing on it. And, also for me, a good signal is when companies and people start asking questions to me. It means that it's a topic of interest for companies.
I see. And as you said, it's very closely connected in terms of clarity, I feel, closely connected with data governance. I don't know is transparency the right word? Maybe it's part of it, but how would you define what is at stake, really? What is important? What is in this debate?
Oh, so in this debate, I agree. Like the transparency of algorithm, how they react, how they come up with the results, explicability, ethical questions. That's a big topic. Then you also have another part that is more around the security of especially LLM security, because you don't want someone to take part into the training data of the LLM. You also have all the issues around prompt injection, etc. So that's a second area. And then the last one that you have is, again, we need to talk about, the roles, the responsibilities around all the AI of the organization. So you also need to come up with a specific framework on this too. So for me, it's, you have all these topics around it.
And maybe for executives listening to us and wondering why they should be interested in AI governance on top of data governance, if they are not convinced yet. if you had to give, one or two big reasons of, okay, now it's time to be more than interested in the subject.
I think the biggest thing I say is around the risks, because if you don't do it now, I mean, I see already a lot of companies who have what we call shadow IT going on. So everyone in the company is actually already using AI on its own. For example, they go to ChatGPT, to Gemini, to Claude, and they just use it for their work. So if you don't think about managing these
Local behaviors. Yeah. Yeah.
gray areas, then there are big risks here because you don't know what your employees are doing, what are they sharing in terms of information as well. So yeah, for me, it's all about managing the risks of your organization, and that's why you need to take care of your AI governance.
And do you happen to have a figure or a number? I like figures, and to get a sense of the importance of the subject, or an example of
Yeah.
a company that either struggled with AI governance or succeeded. I don't know, but just to get a sense of how important it
I
is.
think it's some facts that
Okay.
I've seen going around. So an organization is going to try to come up with some kind of internal chatbot for employees. It takes time to train your own locally, your chatbot, making sure he's going to use the right information, documentation of your organization, and then answer it internally. I mean, usually I've seen people being frustrated because it takes too long, or the answers are not really correct what you expect. And that's when people just lack interest into it, and they just
They
go
switch to
somewhere else.
more
Switch
popular
to
LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, etc.
and that's really the kind of behavior that I see every day. I mean, it's easy actually to just go on other tools on your own. So that's the behavior that we see.
All right. So here we've set the stage of what's at stake, what are the main problems that companies have to deal with, and maybe could we say a few words about AI governance in a nutshell? What are the main principles of AI governance?
The main principles that you have is, so you take the risks level of what you have in your organization. So you need to have a list, do the inventory of what's going on in terms of systems, either using AI, relying on AI, the applications that you have. But you need to find these dark spots that we talked about. What are people doing also on the side?
And who is you when you say you have to? Who does that in
Oh,
the company?
good point.
I'm already going on about the practical implementations, but I'm wondering.
So either you're gonna have consulting firm that it's gonna be the mission that you share to them. It's a possibility, but you can also have the central team that the central data governance team. I always say it should be also renamed to data and AI governance team. And it's this central team that is going to take care of this topic, come up with the framework, come up with the inventory of systems of using or relying on AI, and have this first list with the risk associated to it.
And risks that are quantified in monetary terms, or they find different metrics?
I like the risks matrix that is shared in the AI Act, because there's some specificities to each level that are clearly explained. You can use that. It's about the different systems. Is it like a front client facing, for example, or not? You have all these elements. Which type of training data is it using? And based on that, you have the risk level.
Could you give us a few more elements about it? I don't know, the range of risks. How
Yeah.
far does it go?
There's
High,
like
high,
a classification And on the highest, these are more around systems that are used in for healthcare, for example. It's this kind of element. And then you have to comply to several obligations that are harder. The risk, the higher the risk, the harder the obligations you need to comply with, for sure. But I mean, for most companies, they are not going to be in this category. I mean, the highest is for healthcare,
hypersensitive data, I suppose.
hypersensitive, military, defense.
Okay. Gotcha.
So most of them are going to be probably more in the range of level 1 or 2. That's it.
Okay. And so you've outlined the first step, which is, it sounds like a diagnosis again,
Yes,
right?
again.
Looking around the company, what is being done in very specific places? Is someone using ChatGPT to generate an image or whatever?
Yeah.
And then what do you do next?
So
what
again,
conclusions do you draw?
Yeah. For me, it's again, we talked about earlier in the last episode, we talked about the buy-in from our top management and leaders. And I think here also, based on this diagnosis with the risks, it's great to come up with, I mean, buy-in, you can get it because they'll see the risks and they will understand. But then quickly, what I recommend is to come up with a specific board, like a AI committee, AI board, where all these discussions are going to take place at the higher level in the company.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to answer some specific questions, like who can use what, like should we let people use ChatGPT in the company or not, or maybe you could have also some companies, they write an ethical chart where they write all the ethical principles that they want their AI to respect. So it's this kind of things that need to be, for me, I think, at the highest level.
Okay. So here it's quite distinctive from data governance, right? You've got this, I mean, you talked about the need of having, let's say, a transversal team in data governance. But here it seems that a lot is happening at the very top, even more, right?
Yes.
And so they come up with maybe a chart, maybe an ethical chart. Give us a little bit more about this chart. What ethical questions are at hand?
Usually you can see it from two aspects. It's the ethical questions that are more inside your company.
Okay.
Like, for example, we need to make sure that every algorithm has a clear manner of being audited, of it should be explicable in terms of result. We must understand why it provided such result, etc. And then you have also questions that are more about what's going on outside, at the border of your company. Like, okay, should we have our AI answering directly to our customers, or does it require some kind of human approval? What are the process that we want before having a chatbot in production? What should we do first? What kind of checks should we have? So all these elements, you should come up with that. I mean, your chart, it's more principles, but then you need to decline these principles into operational actions.
Is that what you call guardrails? These operational actions?
Yes.
Or it's just one part of your operational actions?
Yeah, it's one part of your operational actions. To, like you said, like the guardrails are something that you need your AI to respect. It's the limits.
Okay.
You're gonna put it in a in a box and you're gonna say, okay, you're gonna answer and do things within these limits and not outside. For example, if you want something for to help your customer service, you need to limit. Okay, the AI can answer within these limits only on this and this specific topic based on our documentation. You're gonna define the scope. Otherwise, your AI can answer about anything, about, hey, where should I go for my next holidays?
Yeah. What plants should I buy maybe for to decorate my room? Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So it's really constricting, but also to take advantage of this AI, right? It's
Yeah.
like finding the balance between using its power, but at the same time
Yeah.
avoiding the excesses that can happen,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And do you see any other guardrails that are relevant for AI use?
Yeah, so this is more, I mean, the guardrails that we just mentioned, it's more technical, something you can do technically in the algorithm. Companies should come up with guardrails also in terms of roles around
Okay.
the model development. Who is the model owner, for example, then who makes sure that the training data that we use is not biased, that it's transparent, available. So you need also on the development cycle of the algorithm, you need to have some specific
Okay.
roles and responsibilities.
And just to be clear, here we're talking about proprietary algorithms, right? Internal algorithms.
Yes, exactly. But also, if you use something from the market, you should also come up with some guardrails, because you can use something that is available and then fine tune locally the algorithm. So
I see. I see. Because I mean, I'm thinking about well, the people listening, and bouncing off what you said earlier. It's not because you're not an AI company doesn't mean that AI is not everywhere in your organization. As you said, shadow IT or shadow AI.
yeah.
Zooming in on this, for example, LLMs. What examples of guardrails have you seen? I don't know, in your consulting experience or even in your research, how to take advantage of these systems with some rules.
Yeah, so on the roles, we had the data scientist role that is here since a few years now. And I think we need maybe to transform, transform a bit this role to clearly define ownership of, okay, I'm the one who built or fine-tuned this algorithm. So this person should have some kind of responsibility
Okay.
also on the outcome, how it's built. Is it, making sure there's some kind of monitoring of the outcome. This is what we call it. We check that it's not drifting. So for me, it's a key point. And then you need also to have a counterpart on the business side. We talked about our data steward. I think our data steward should at some point become AI steward.
Okay, just to remind our listeners, the data steward is the person in the team on the ground setting the rule, the specific rule, and saying the setting up the criteria where it's validated or not validated, right?
Yes. So the data steward was doing this work for data of its scope. So defining data quality rules. Okay, this this data needs to be into this range, otherwise it doesn't make sense for my business goal. The AI steward, I think, is gonna have another dimension in the fact that the AI steward will be able to say, okay, for my job, I need to I need an AI to do this for me. It would be helpful or not, or I would require this to be automated or not. But at least having the point of view from the AI steward on that, so someone for the business doesn't have to have a degree or anything in AI, just a good understanding of the business and of what can be automated, what cannot, where a chatbot or whatever could be useful. That's going to be super good to have this in your organization. So that's for from the business point of view,
Yep.
having this AI stewards is for me the key.
Is it changing in any ways compared with data governance? Are there new responsibilities coming in with AI, would you say?
We said it's a role around approval
Yeah.
of definitions of rules. I think again here, what we can expect from this owner is to approve which algorithm, which tools can be used within the scope concerned. Yeah, the person needs to have an interest for sure in how AI can help the business unit and where it's relevant, where it's not, what are the limits, again, of what people can do and cannot do with AI in its business unit. But yeah, that's what I would add to the role.
Continuing on this idea of how do you implement AI governance within your company, could we think of some, well, we talked about horror stories in the previous episode. Could we think of some AI governance strategies going off the rails? What would be some basic mistakes that companies could make in their efforts to harness data?
I think if you want to see mistakes, just check the news recently on the topic. You're gonna see some fun story. I mean, fun.
Is there one that jumps to your mind?
Well, yeah, there was this airline company. They had on their website a chatbot that was, helping customers to buy tickets, plane tickets, and some customer, after having interacted for, I don't know, several hours with the chatbot, he was able to get a plane ticket for free.
That sounds nice.
So
That sounds nice.
great.
From a business point, a little
Yeah.
less so, but okay, wow,
So,
yeah.
I mean, for this one, it's not, there's no harm being done or anything by the AI. But still,
it's a
it
massive
gave
loophole.
for free.
Massive loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you can imagine
Yeah.
how far it can go if people are just if they want bad stuff to happen, or if they want to target your chatbot and make it do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So guardrails again are going to be useful.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, I'm thinking it's bound to happen. I mean, over the next few months, next few years, these examples will pop up every now and then
Yeah.
as reminders that these tools, these AI tools, are extraordinary
Yeah.
in the powers they unleash. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you gotta put your attention towards making them safe and useful in a true way.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting to the end of this second part of our episode. But maybe for our listeners who maybe want to know more, who want to learn more about AI governance, do you have any recommendations? Anything to put our minds to?
Yes, I think a good starting point is to go check. I mean, not all of it, but some resumes of what's in the AI Act, because you can have what I talked about earlier, the different risks level, and I think it's easy to find a website where they come up with some AI framework that you can use within your organization. That's a good starting point, I think, to gather information. I mean, at this point, also a lot of people are trying to, get certifications or specific training. I think it's a bit early at this point. I mean, unless you are in a specific industry or sector that is highly regulated and you need it, maybe. But for most companies, I don't think it's necessary at this point. I would say just take information, check what the AI Act is about, what you might need to comply with or not. It is a good starting point.
Okay, and I will add your own newsletter.
Yes.
Because I mean it's quite important because
Yes.
you write about these questions quite extensively. That's one of your core interests. And
I
I'm sure
write
that
and also I do some live Q&A with people. So, it's not, it's also about sharing ideas with the community and come up with answers all together. Yep.
so for our dear listeners, if you're
Yep.
frustrated with my questions, if you thought maybe I should have asked different questions, you have another opportunity with these live Q&As. So thank you, Charlotte. I think
Thank
so.
you.
This is the end of our episode. It was lovely to talk to you. It was a very interesting conversation about AI governance and why it's important, how you should go about implementing it, and taking advantage of these technologies that can be extremely beneficial. But if you don't pay enough attention to the framework within which they operate, they might be quite costly. And this conversation followed a conversation we had some time ago about data governance, where we also looked at the framework of rules, of roles, and processes that allow you, dear listeners, to make the most of the technologies you have at hand and all this data you collect on a daily basis. So this was a lovely conversation with Charles Ledoux again, and I'll see you next time.